So you're trying to grow on YouTube, and there's going to be certain things you can do that can influence that. And that's what I want to talk to you about a little bit in this video. Because a lot of the stuff that happens you can't control, but some things you can. So let's talk about giving your channel the best chances of success. I think the first thing you can do is stop watching clickbait videos. Like, I went from 0 to 10,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. Now, did they do that? Some people absolutely did. I have a friend, Raina, who went from, I think even more than that, she got monetized in 2 days. But she has no idea how or why. She just put videos out, like all of us, and was lucky enough, and I can only really call it that because she's fantastic, but how does YouTube know that? And how did it find the people who think that? So she doesn't know how she did it, and I think that for most people who have that quick success, that's often the case. They don't really know why. Now, if you go and analyze their videos, sometimes you can work out why, and that why is often something that you can't achieve. So, for example, I've seen channels that have switched niche completely. They've made one video, and a very generic standard video that has been done many times before. They haven't done it in any better way than anybody else. In fact, probably worse, because it's, you know, one of their first videos. And they switched to the YouTube growth niche, for example, and taken off out of nowhere. Can't explain why. Nothing in that video that shows anything special other than average sort of skill, and no idea how YouTube has found their audience, because their audience before was interested in something completely different, and yet they've taken off. Unexplainable. There's so many examples like that. So stop watching these videos, because the other side of the coin is the people who already have a following and who are making videos with an audience from another platform already on their way over. So they might have a big Instagram following and they just bring them over to YouTube and they're monetized very quickly. Well, that's not very surprising, really, is it? When you bring 100k people from another platform. So I would just be very careful about what these videos are, because they'll tell you all the generic stuff like make better thumbnails, make better titles. You're probably already doing that anyway. And if you're not, you can improve that. It's something you can actually improve. But that is not the magic key, the magic special sauce that was going to get you anywhere. It just isn't. It's going to have a potential effect, but it isn't the key to going viral or to growing fast. It's just a small piece in the overall scheme of things, and you need YouTube to find your audience. That's the key thing. So what you want to do is instead go back and look at your content and look for mistakes you've made, things you could improve, and stuff that you can do, you can actually affect to improve your chances of growth. For example, improving your thumbnails and your delivery, your titles, your descriptions, your lighting, your sound, everything that you can possibly think of or you can notice in your videos that you could improve. Just look at every video and see if there's something you can do. Part of that is optimization. You can go into your channel and make sure that your channel description is up to date, for example. Make sure that you put all the links and stuff that you have. If you have any sort of affiliate links for Amazon, for example, if you talk about a product in one of your videos, put a link to it in your description. Will it take off and make you crazy money? Probably not. But I've made, I don't know, 20 bucks or something so far in my 5 months of YouTube. And while it's not much, what it does do is give me a little boost sometimes, because I can see the potential. If I have 300 odd subscribers and I can make 20 bucks, what can I do with 3,000 or 30,000 or 300,000? So it can give you that little boost, and it can actually make it seem to you like this is actually a real thing, that there is potential in this. So I'd recommend fixing those things behind the scenes, descriptions, links, all this stuff that you can do in a very short amount of time, but it's all planning and building for the overall structure of your channel. You also need to consider who your ideal audience is and really be focused on that as well. So all this optimization, planning and search engine optimization is all stuff you can do behind the scenes to improve your chances. Now, the next thing you've got to do is ignore stats. And this is a case, or analytics, I mean. And this is the case even quite far into your journey, because if you misconstrue your stats, that can damage your channel and damage the direction you take. But it's very easy to do, because you can look at certain figures and you can see something, you can gather something from that. But what you've actually assumed from that, if you just take it on face value, is probably completely wrong. For example, recently I've seen that my engagement, my average view duration, everything has gone up, and yet YouTube doesn't seem to be pushing my videos. And I think it's 46% less subscribers than the previous 28 days, but everything else is up. So why is that? What it looks like to me when I actually analyze deeper is that YouTube is showing my videos to my subscribers and my core audience, if you like, but then it's not passing those videos on to other people enough. And then it's taking some of my older, worse videos rather than my newer, successful ones, and it's pushing those more. And weird random videos that I have are getting more impressions, and what I consider my best videos, and this is YouTube showing my stats as these are my best videos, they aren't getting pushed as much. And I've got a video from when I started that's getting pushed for, well, it's my first video and it's getting pushed to more people now and it's getting more subscribers, but it's sat there doing nothing for ages. Don't know why. Makes no sense. It's not a video that is anything revolutionary or new. It's not suddenly, I don't think, a time when everybody's watching that type of video, because people have been watching those videos all the time. It's just they haven't watched my one because YouTube hasn't sent it to anyone. I think I had 25 views for months. So there's very little rhyme or reason to it. So just try and ignore the stats, especially at the start, because they'll be very meaningless. They'll be very difficult to interpret. And if you interpret them wrong, you're probably going to damage yourself. And that brings us on to trying things out. You want to try out some different stuff. Now, people will say niche down or be very specific, and that isn't bad advice. That's good advice. But what I'm talking about more is trying different methods, different ways of making your videos. Are you going to be sitting at a desk? Are you going to be walking around? Are you going to be sitting outside? What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be in your car? Try different things, because you can find an example of success with every single possible technique that you can think of on YouTube. Most of it's been done. I'm not sure how many unique ideas we can come up with to go on in the future of YouTube, because a lot of stuff's been done. So try out things for yourself and try what's best for you, because a video you make in a certain environment might suddenly take off more than one that you made, a very similar one, or even the same video in a different environment. So just test things out and see what you can come up with and what feels best for you and what's most suited for you and your channel. And the last thing I want you to do is think off platform. Now, in the early days of YouTube, this sounds like scary advice, or it's going to be too much. And I don't think you need to go crazy on this at the start. But what I think you should do is start thinking, what if YouTube disappeared tomorrow? Or what if my channel got shut down? Or what if they just stopped serving my videos to people? As I have felt is the case for me recently. I'm going to make a video about that, because it's not just me. It's a lot of people who are feeling like something's changed at YouTube. So I'm going to make a video about that. But the main thing to think about is think off platform a little bit. Think about what you can do to mix things up or to protect yourself if YouTube disappeared. Now, it's not that you have to do these things right now. But just start thinking about it, planning for it. Can you make any products? Can you make any courses? Can you have another platform like Substack or School or any of those things that you can have some of your viewers over on? And so if you lose contact with them for some reason, that YouTube blocks your channel or whatever it is that could happen, that you still have a business left. Because if you're doing YouTube in order to get monetized, I'm assuming you're either going to be trying to have some kind of side hustle or some kind of full-time business in the end. And if that's the case, you need to do a bit of planning and protection for yourself to ensure that that has a future. So just start thinking about it. Just start looking into, in your spare time, other platforms and other ways that you can retain your viewers or be in contact with them if something went wrong. And those are a few tips that I would give myself if I started again, or to new YouTubers who are starting and want to give themselves the best start possible for success. Hope that's helped, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.